Hello, students. Welcome to Marketing 3336. And in this session, we'll be introducing your team projects called the video pitch. We're going to be working on going through the details of the requirements for the video pitch. And I'm going to be giving you a few examples of video pitches so that you can get some ideas on how to create them yourself. At this point in time, you should have already been sent an email with the information on your team members. Everybody has been randomly assigned into a team of 4 individuals. Even if during the course of your semester, one of those individuals drops and you move down to 3, we should still be fine. So I'm expecting teams to be anywhere from 3 or 4 members, and I'm going to be randomly assigning them. In the past, I've let people choose teams, but I think that we're going to be randomly assigning them this semester, given the COVID situation and the all online type of classes. So I look forward to you working together, and I look forward to working with you on this project. We're going to have lots of frequent office hours and be available for questions and answer sessions, as well as video interactions to answer any questions regarding the project itself. So let's get started to describe what this video pitch is all about. So first, let me talk to you a little bit about what is a video pitch. So a pitch is a verbal delivery of a business plan. So you're going to be putting together a short 5-minute verbal delivery of a business plan of a product or service that you have come up with that you would particularly like to market or bring to market. Now, this cannot be something that already exists and is readily available in the marketplace. I will say that if it's something that's obscure, not well known, and you think of it and you Google it, you find that somebody, I don't know, somewhere in East Asia is doing something like this, not a big deal. But if it's a popular product or something that's well known and being marketed, I want you to avoid that. I want it to be a really fresh or creative idea that your team comes up with to be able to execute this. So a pitch is a verbal delivery of a business plan. A pitch typically takes the form of an entrepreneur or group of entrepreneurs presenting or describing their ideas to prospective investors. Many of you have seen different variations of TV shows like Shark Tank, where you see these types of pitches taking place, where the investors see the pitch and they determine whether they want to invest in a company that has an idea, or even something that has more of a product itself. So that's what you're going to be doing here. And you're going to be using some of the foundations that we've learned in this class to be able to make your pitch. So what is a pitch or video pitch? A video pitch is a pitch done via a short video rather than in person. We're going to be doing it over video. Regardless of the means chosen in the pitch, the aim is the same, describing a business opportunity with the intention of securing funding to develop a further idea. So you're going to be pretending on the other side of this pitch are potential investors that would watch this pitch and decide whether they want to invest in you or invest in your product or idea that you have developed. So that's what this is all about. Now I'm going to get into some significant detail and provide you some examples of this so your team can start working on this in more detail. So a few things that you're going to be answering in your pitch, and it's very important that you pay attention to this because I'm going to talk about 6 questions, and you must address each of these 6 questions in your video pitch to score a good grade on this video pitch. The first is, what is your product or service? So you're going to briefly describe what you sell. Do not get lost in the details of it. What we want is a high-level description of the functional value of that product that it brings to market to that customer. Okay, the people should know what value are you bringing, what have you created that's valuable, and really describe that product or service in some detail so everyone clearly understands what it is. That's the first thing that you have to do. Number 2, who is your market? You need to briefly discuss who you intend to sell the product or service to. So be sure to answer the question, what industry is this in that you're selling, and how large of a market does this potentially represent? So how big is this marketplace? And you could talk a lot about how much of that market that you think that your product could potentially capture or fit within that marketplace, okay? Number three, what is your revenue model? In other words, how does your product or service or what you've developed expect to make money? What's the strategy you're going to be using to be able to make money? Is it going to be you're charging a fee for this product or service? You're going to be selling it through retail? What are you going to be doing to be able to generate revenue? So what is this that your model looks like for revenue generation purposes? Who's behind the company? Now, this is some students find this tricky, but all I'm looking for here is for you to introduce each of yourselves to show that you're passionate about this product or service idea, and talk about what motivated you to be able to develop and come up with this idea. What's the foundational motivation? So, for example, some people talk about like if theirs has to do with sports, and they were in sports when they were young that motivated them to get into this. Could be something, a problem that was unsolved that they'd like to see solved, things like this. So what is it, who's behind your company, and what is it that makes the motivation behind your idea itself? Sometimes also groups will introduce an advisory board or other individuals that they've recruited to intend to advise them on that product or service. So that's what that next part is about. Now let's go to number 5. Who is your competition? This is where you briefly discuss who the competitors are that offer products that would be competitively positioned against yours. So successful competition sometimes is an advantage because you can say, hey, there's a market out there. This company is doing pretty well in the market, but this is what makes us unique, or this is the concept that makes us unique in that marketplace. So discussing who the competition is and what that market would look like, okay? And then number 6, what is your competitive advantage? This is where we extend number 5, which is to talk about the competition. We actually hear simply being in an industry with is successful isn't good enough. You need to effectively communicate what makes you different. What differentiates you from the competition in the marketplace? Is it a better distribution channel? Do you have better partners? Are you less expensive? Do you have some sort of proprietary technology idea? Have you come up with a novel approach that nobody else has? So what makes you unique or different than everybody else out there? So every team must answer each of these 6 questions to be able to get a good grade on this project. So I'm going to talk about that more in detail, but make sure that you answer in your video pitch each of these 6 questions. A few things about the pitch. A couple things about a successful pitch as far as the presentation itself. We're going to be reviewing the content of the pitch, but also the presentation behind the pitch. The first is there needs to be a hook. So oftentimes you open your pitch by getting the investor's attention to what we call a hook. That's a statement that piques their interest, gets them excited, something novel, exciting, interesting, that draws their attention into the video and makes people interested in what they're doing. Passion. The investors have to feel the energy, the dedication of the entrepreneurs, the passion that's shown into it. So there has to be some energy in the way you articulate your points and the way you drive your message in the video. And then a request. At the end of your pitch, you must ask for something. Do you want to get the business cards of investors who are interested in your product? Do you want to schedule a full detailed presentation to those that are interested? Do you want a referral to somebody who could finance this product or this service? What are you asking for as a request? So at the end, there has to end in a request. So those are the things with regard to the presentation itself. Now, a few things about instructions. This is a very important project for your team. It represents 30% of the grade of your team. Now, I expect everyone to do fairly well on this because you've got plenty of time to work on it, and you're really going to be thinking up great ideas behind this as a team and thinking through how you develop this and develop the idea behind the pitch. You may even record yourselves multiple times before you find one that's going to work for you. So now ultimately the due date for this is November 23rd, 2020. You're going to be turning it in on November 23rd. I do not take it late, so it has to be in on that date. Your project submission will consist of a pitch of no more than 5 minutes. So it doesn't matter if it's less. If you can do the pitch in 3 minutes or 4 minutes, perfectly fine. You cannot turn something in that's longer than 5 minutes. Just in fairness to everybody, we will stop the video at 5 minutes, and that's the longest we will take as far as a pitch video. You and your teammates may prepare a script for your rehearsals. In fact, many teams script out what they're going to say, but don't read your script during videos. In fact, there's going to be a penalty if we sense that you're actually sitting there reading scripts. The key to avoiding this is for you to practice it. Practice with your teammates over and over again. And the best way to get a high grade is to practice and get those recordings to be really outstanding. So every team member needs to be involved in a speaking role in the video. So at some point in time, every team member needs to be included in this video. What we're recommending that you do is you use Zoom to be able to record these given the current distance situation. But if the team wants to get together to shoot the video or shoot individual clips using some sort of other video footage, integrating other video footage, that's your license to do what you like to do. But I would like everyone to stay safe and do this effectively. So I would suggest that maybe somebody's responsible for putting together the ultimate edited video, but we could send clips of ourselves or we could integrate other elements into our video. It's completely up to you what you want to do, but the video itself cannot be longer than 5 minutes. Once you have your stuff done and your up to 5 minute presentation, you're going to upload that into YouTube. And you're going to then take that YouTube link and you're going to send it to our TA, Alejandro Portas. His email is here, and you can send it to Alejandro, and he will write back to you confirming that he has received this. Make sure you save that confirmation because that means that he has received your submission. So only one email submission per group is needed, and he'll typically send something back to you and he'll say, I have received your submission, and you save that for yourself. That's just a verification that you have in fact turned that project in. So, and when we're grading this project, we have two elements that we're considering in the grading. The first and the largest majority of this, and this is because it really is a content-focused marketing class that we want to be able to focus on here, is your overall proposal. And there are 4 key elements to the overall proposal itself. Understanding the user's need and market. So who is your customer and what is this market? And really being able to show that you understand that. How innovative is that product that you propose? We will typically Google that to determine how innovative the idea is, how creative the group has really thought through this. Coherence of the problem, solution, and feasibility. Have you really described it well? Can we completely understand what you've done? Have you mocked up stuff, for example? Many times people will mock up the product or show an example of it. If it's a digital thing, they might actually mock up what the digital thing looks like to be able to show some screens for it and stuff. That actually works really well. Sometimes people will mock up a product itself to be able to make something look like the way it would look. It doesn't have to be anything fully functional or technologically savvy, just something that shows that you've spent a little time thinking about what this is going to be like and to be able to help convey the idea to the instructor. In our case, we'd be the investor on our side as we're watching this video. Lastly, we have to answer each of the 6 video pitch questions laid out in the previous slide. So you have to make sure that each of those questions that we laid out previously is in fact answered in your video. Make sure that content is included because we will rate you on the extent to which you've included this. That's your overall proposal. If we go down to the presentation itself, this is 30% of the grade. So if we weight them, 70% is the proposal, 30% is the presentation. So do you deliver it with passion, heart, and enthusiasm? Do we really tell that you really spent some time thinking about it and really worked on this? Do you grab the attention of people? Is it interesting? Is it novel? Okay. Do you communicate effectively without reading a script? We definitely do not want to see you reading scripts during it. If we detect script reading, that will knock points off. And then lastly, have all the team members been included in the pitch itself? Everyone plays some form of role in the pitch. So that is 30% of your grade. So we'll weight the two, 70, 30, and that will come out with your final grade for the video pitch project. And we'll have two people evaluate every video pitch project. One of the TAs and myself will evaluate every project, and we will come together and get a final score on that project, okay? So I want to show you a few video pitch projects. This is one from a couple years ago from one of my classes that did a video pitch. So this was before we were under COVID and distance restrictions. So, but I'd like to show it to you anyway, so you could get some ideas on how they did their pitch and what they thought of. And then I'll show you one in a Zoom format that we developed to be able to think a little bit about how you can social distance more effectively, things like this. But it's wide open the way you'd like to create this, but you can see the way they did and get some ideas from it. So let's first look at this. This first project that these students pitch here.
A university, vast in size and people. Isn't it strange that despite so many people, so many of us feel alone? We thought, how can we fix this? How can we redefine the college social experience? Because too often how we experience college is often defined by who we share it with. We wanted to build a bridge between people to create genuine companions while building long-lasting relationships. That is where me and my colleagues drew from our own experiences to try to produce what we believe will be a new wave of modern interaction. Me, a diverse individual who has interests in world cultures. Alex, who loves motorcycles and automotives. Josh, who's a sports enthusiast. And Palumi, who's interested in the 90s culture. And through our own individual knowledge, as students ourselves and as social media experts, and through our daily interactions with other students just like us, we drew a conclusion. We're all unique, and that all our interests come in all shapes and sizes. And through those interests, we are able to connect with all kinds of people that we may not be aware of. It was the missing bridge to close the gap of disconnection. In some way, shape, or form, there are lines that connect us all together through our shared interests. Connecting through those interests not only brings us together, it helps us embrace who we truly are, and aids in discovering what makes you, you. And with that in mind, we'd like to introduce to you our new social media platform we'd like to call Connect.
Connect is a social media platform that connects people within a community, like a university, with shared interests, or what we like to call links. Links are activities, hobbies, shows, or anything that people have in common within that community, created by the people of that community. Once links are made, people can react to those in numerous ways. You can message through the links, you can track different activities within the app, and you can also just connect directly with people you've met through links. The purpose of our app is to help create and find communities where you can genuinely connect with people based on what you have in common, rather than just getting together with people because they're convenient or happen to be there. And our target market are university students, but we hope to expand the platform.
There's a very unique opportunity for businesses to create revenue with our application because it offers a unique type of way for businesses to reach target markets. Users within Connect segment themselves within the app based on the links that they're interested in. Imagine a movie company promoting a movie. Such a company would probably promote within links about movies where those in the links have already expressed interest in the topic. Another example is a cutlery company that could now advertise in links related to cooking. The possibilities for firms are endless. Our app gives firms access to those most interested and most likely to buy their product. We also offer the ability for featured links and events for increased exposure and market penetration.
There are other social media platforms out there like Facebook and Twitter, but those are based around pre-established connections. But Connect the name is trying to connect people with no prior established connection whatsoever. Another differentiating factor about Connect is that it's location-based. There are other location-based apps like Tinder, but those are based around solely romantic connections. Connect the name is trying to build a more diverse array of connections for multiple different reasons. Connect is a unique platform that can redefine how we interact with the world around us. As investors, we're asking you to become partners with us, invest in us, help us redefine our collective social interactions. We are asking you to
Connect with us.
Okay, so you can analyze that yourself and see what you thought were the strengths and weaknesses of it, but obviously the group thought a lot about that, and I wanted to share that with you as one opportunity. You notice how everyone spoke separately on that. That would have been fine as far as the way this would be structured, as far as independent video capture, and then integrated together into some footage that was predetermined or pre-existing footage of around the university and things like that. So you're welcome to take footage from other spots and integrate it and video edit, whatever level of creativity you want to put behind the presentation itself. But you notice that this video itself was just around 4 minutes long. Perfectly fine that it stayed under the 5-minute total mark. Okay, let's go to the next one. So what we asked on this next one, and you'll notice here on the next one, is that I actually had our TA, Victor. I asked him to pitch a product together with another student, graduate student, about using Zoom in this, the way we've sort of talked that you could consider using Zoom. And what they've done is they put together a presentation, and they are pitching a product that they call Occuply. And you'll check that out and see their product that they've developed an idea for. And they've actually mocked up some of the screens that it uses. And in fact, I think they're even thinking about pursuing this for themselves as well. So let's watch their video here.
Hi, my name is Victor Noguera, and today I'll be sharing with you a new company called Occuply that is revolutionizing the way that people apply to jobs today. About 2 years ago, I was in the job market and I was using the tools available to me, like LinkedIn and Indeed. I searched for different Fortune 500 companies that I was interested in applying to on these websites, and what I found surprised me. They actually redirected me to each company's website where I was asked to fill in a repetitive set of information over and over and over again. And at this point, I realized this is a massive waste of time. If I could only save my answers and distribute them across applications, I could submit applications much more efficiently. So I wanted to know if this problem was happening to other students. I went to the UT campus and surveyed students to find out about 70% of them said it was too much effort to apply to jobs. And this got me thinking, what portion of the population is actually affected by this problem? To size my market, I took a little bit of data. First off, there are 85 million people searching for new jobs. Of those, 35 million people are using online applications. And of those 35 million, roughly 6.5 million are interested in applying to different Fortune 500 companies. With this in mind, I decided that there could be a better way to apply to jobs. And that's what brought us to the Unified Questionnaire, where we merge questions at the application level to ensure that candidates are never asked the same question twice. With that, I'll pass off to Blake, where he will explain the product a bit deeper.
Thank you, Victor. All right, so with Occuply, you first select the categories which you are interested in, then choose the experience levels applicable to you, the locations where you would like to work, the companies who you would like to work for, at which point Occuply returns you with the set of jobs matching those criteria. From here, you can look at each of the different job descriptions and remove any of the ones you're not interested in. Next, we ask you a similar set of questions to what you saw earlier on the Fortune 500 applications. But the key distinction here being that we only ever ask you these questions one time. Next, we ask you a few job-specific questions. Yet again, with these questions, if multiple companies ask you them, we're still only going to ask you one time. And just like that, in about 10 to 15 minutes, this user is able to submit 53 applications. This would have taken them about 10 hours if they did it through Indeed. Occupy plans to make its money using a business-to-business paper application model. Occupy will post premium job applications, and employers will pay $3.50 per applicant submitted to them through these premium listings. Additionally, Occupy offers a premium candidate database subscription where employers can pay per number of candidate searches per month in order to look up Occupy's set of candidates. Occupy has a total addressable market of $12.4 billion in the United States, and we are seeking to capture about 0.5% of that market share, looking for about $100 million in annual revenue. Our team comprises of a series of automation experts, including myself, Blake DeBinnon, Craig Gifford, our COO, Scott Philbin, our CTO, and Victor Noguera, our CMO. Each of us has extensive time in both software engineering as well as using automation at scale. Additionally, we are fortunate to have a very experienced board of advisors, including Tarby Bryant, Mike Ahern, Bill Philbin, Colin Jones, and Kim Gullickson. Occuply differentiates itself because while a lot of the major competitors are a combination of a job search engine and a job board, none of them offer the full combination of Apply for You, job search engine, and job board. What this means is that if you try to apply through Indeed or LinkedIn, you're going to be redirected. They're not actually going to apply for you. Occuply is one of the few companies that is able to both show you these links as well as apply to them for you. The only other competitor in this space is Ladders. Ladders is $40 per month, whereas Occuply is free. Occuply is seeking to raise $1 million at a $5 million valuation. If you are interested in investing or you'd like to try the product, please visit occuply.io or email us at the addresses listed below. Thank you.
All right. So I just wanted to show you those as some examples and get you going on your project. We'll be presenting periodically as we move forward in the semester, and you'll be actually having some time, if you notice on your syllabus, every week we've dedicated a whole class period for you to work together as a team to create your content. And we'll be making ourselves available during that time as well as during office hours to answer any questions that any team might have. And good luck with this, and I look forward to seeing these presentations that you put together in these excellent pitches. Take care.